we showed every day with with clown music underneath.
Right.
Okay, but the point is, it feels like Darvin Ham is going out of his way, as he said again last night, that he's excited as hell to have Russell Westbrook on his team. Well, maybe he's been told to be excited as hell because your job, the main thrust, your number one goal this coming year is to figure out how to re-ingratiate Russ and get some value out of the $47 million that Jeannie is stuck owing him.
I don't know how you get the value of what you're going to have to pay him when he's your third option. He shoots the percentage, the efficiency in which he played, the lack of efficiency in which he played it. And I heard Darvin Ham talking about, oh, yeah, we're going to be able to flatten it out and he'll be corner three. I don't want him shooting threes in the corner, on the top of the key, at the side of the key. I'm not going to even give him a key. I don't want Russ shooting no three-point shots, and he was talking about like that's going to be a great thing. He's going to get some wide-open looks. Have the looks he get a wide-open because they want him shooting that shot.
They do, and they will dare him more than ever next year because he finished dead last statistically in three-point shooting. Dead last in the whole league.
I just think the thing is, Skip, look, they did mandate how would you use Russ? What would you do differently than what we did last year so we can get maximum value? But Skip, you're asking a guy that's predominantly had the ball in his hand now to be a third option, and you're going to ask him to do things he's never been asked to do. How do you do that going into year 15? That you ask a guy to do something that he hasn't been asked to do. He's primarily been the ball handler. He's primarily been the decision maker. And now you got LeBron 1, AD 2, or you got AD 1, Bron 2, Russ is always 3. No matter what the equation 1, 2 is, 3 is always Russ. So how do you get maximum value of $47 million when a guy's always been the number 1 option or the number 2 option? And when you ask the number 3, Skip, that's a lot of... See, D-Wade understood. D-Wade was a slasher. So LeBron would find him going to the basket. That's not what Russ does. Russ likes to take the ball to the basket, either finish where he can't finish as well as he once could because the athleticism is waning, or he drops it off. But the turnovers, his hands have gotten progressively worse over the years, and so the drop-off is out of bounds, or it's over the top of the backboard, or he's throwing it so hard it's skimming through someone's hand. So I just don't. And Darvin Ham's like, yeah, we're going to figure it out. Russ is still a top basketball player. All of them are top basketball players. But there's a reason why no one's lining up to try to take Russ up off your hand. If Russ was like that, they'd be lining up around the building to try to take him up off your hands.
So Darvin Ham is saying that we will ask Russ to focus more on the defensive end. Baloney, when has he ever focused on the defensive end?
And you're going to do that in year 15?
Yeah, really? And we're going to focus more on him becoming a spot-up shooter when you were dead last in three-point shooting and you were 4th worst in free throw shooting, just to demonstrate how poor a shooter you have always been.
Spot on.
Okay? And then he also said we'll use him some in that dunker role where you'll be more a little off ball where you can crash and try to offensive rebound. Okay, that makes sense to me, but we're talking about $47 million for the dunker role, that sort of 5th man role? Really?
$47 million for 7. So they're like, man, look at the numbers. Bro, $47 million, that should be a guy that's like MVP level, still playing at that level. You look at the guys that make the $40+ million, and you tell me what you think they are. That's the Nikola Jokic, that's the Giannis's, that's the LeBron James, that's the Steph Curry's. Those are those guys, the Joel Embiid who's going to get... Skip, that's who makes that kind of money. Not a guy in the dunker spot, not the guy that's the 3rd option. If he was the 3rd option, Skip, making $17 million, no problem whatsoever. That's to be expected. But a guy that's making $47 million, you're expecting him to be 1st option or at absolute worst, 1B.
So your Lakers home crowd last year, near the end of the year, when Russ would catch a wide-open catch-and-shoot three-point shot and would start to think about going up to shoot it, you could hear a resounding no. Right? No.
Thank you. That's your home, Skip. That's your home crowd.
Yeah.
You on the road, you expect to get booed. You expect, because remember now, who's that? The Kings. They started playing every time you shoot cold as ice, and the NBA intervened and said you can't do that. So you expect things of that nature, little underhand. Skip, not your home crowd. Your home crowd telling you no, don't shoot it.
So in the end, I know that Darvin Ham's a tough guy from Saginaw, Michigan, Sag Nasty. And he talked last week about how this is no pressure. Pressure for me was just surviving growing up. Okay, I got that. But this is a whole different kind of pressure.
Yes.
And with this mandate, all of a sudden, if it comes to this, and my gut feeling, as opposed to yours, it's going to come to he's going to have to figure out both Russ and LeBron at the same time. Russ has taken all this in he's either laughing or crying at it, one or the other. He's a laugh cry emoji as we speak behind closed doors about what's going on here because it's over between the two of them. The bridge got burned. The bridge got burned by Russ's exit interview. And LeBron is such a nice guy and he's such a leader of the team. If he didn't make any move to try to say hi to Russ, because you know how LeBron is. He's like the ultimate team leader. He would have waved him down or who knows?
Nah, he was like
that. His body language was that.
He was go ahead, go.
Right. So now, what if you're forced to try to play these two guys together? I don't know. You know, we can do Kyrie or no Kyrie, but obviously, if Kyrie is here, there's going to be no Russ.
Correct.
I can't see that happening.
Right.
So if it does come down to Russ plus LeBron again, how are you going to make it work? Because LeBron has never had a Cold War with a teammate. Maybe it started to fray at the end with Kyrie a little bit, but not like this.
No, Skip, LeBron has succeeded. You look at LeBron when he's been at his best, he's had shooters. You go back to Miami, you go back to his turn with Cleveland when he had Channing Frye, he had JR, he had Kyle Korver, he had guys that can knock down shots. You look at when they won the championship, guys were knocking down shots.
Oh, we look back at 2012 when it was Shane Battier, and then it was
Mike
Mario
Miller.
Chalmers, and then it was Mike Miller.
Yeah, and they had James Jones coming off the bench. So he had guys that can knock down. That's what you have to do. Because if you don't knock down shots, they're going to close the lane up. Because remember, Skip, they was building the wall for LeBron before they ever thought about a wall for Giannis. And now, what do they do for Giannis? They got guys that can knock down shots. And now all of a sudden the wall you have to go out there and guard those guys.
I first guessed this part of it because Russ's defender, when LeBron has the ball, Russ's defender just drops back in the lane and says, "Hey, you can't come in here."
Yeah, what are you gonna do? He's not gonna make me pay by hitting the three.
Right. Okay. So you say it's not a big deal. I say it's a looming huge deal because how are you going to make this work?
It might be only a deal if Russ is still there. I still believe that they're going to get this done with Kyrie. Kyrie doesn't want to be in Brooklyn. I don't believe Brooklyn want Kyrie in Brooklyn.
I would agree with that part of it.
And I think the thing is, Skip, look, we'll get something back. We'll get an asset. Here's the thing, though, is that they're trying to extrapolate both of those first-round picks. And I believe the Lakers will be willing to give you one in order to get. They prefer Seth Curry. They say, no, we want you to take Joe Harris. They say, we don't want Joe Harris. So at the end of the day, somebody's got to blink. How bad do they want Russ off their hands? That's what the Lakers look at, Skip. How bad do you want us to move a commodity that you no longer want or need? And the Brooklyn Nets know that.
Okay. Well, LeBron's body language on Friday night indicated that he badly wants Kyrie out. And obviously Russ
Russ out?
I mean, wants Russ out.
Kyrie in.
And yeah, Russ is painfully aware of all the reports that say LeBron is rooting for Kyrie.
Yeah.
He is campaigning internally for Kyrie.
Who wouldn't?
Okay, but now you got a looming problem between those two. If it all comes down to Jeannie Buss. Has she dug completely in and said to LeBron, in effect, you wanted him, you got him for one more year. I'm stuck with him because you wanted him, and we had to take him for the 2 years left on his deal. So now you have to figure it out too, LeBron, because he's your responsibility. Well,
Jeannie, you're wasting another year.
All right.
I can tell you what Kobe would say. What do you think Kobe would say, Jeannie? Would Kobe say, okay, Jeannie, let's figure it out another year? Or would Kobe say, let's move the hell on because we saw it didn't work?
I know what Jeannie would answer you. She would say, Kobe never would have campaigned for Russ in the first place.
Kobe asked, he didn't campaign for a player. He campaigned to get the hell up out of L.A. Maybe she forgot that. Maybe she wasn't that close around the team when he was trying to get his way to
No, I think
Chicago.
she was.
Okay, so let's not pretend like Kobe didn't ask for things that Mr. Dr. Buzz said, nah, hell no, we're not letting you go for no amount of players or picks.
Okay.
Skip, it didn't work. And a lot of times we get in a situation where they don't work, Skip, and it's okay. This didn't work. This will not be the first trade that did not work. This will not be the first acquisition, be it LeBron or anyone else, that didn't work. But instead of trying to bang your head against the wall, just move on.
Well, now for the ultimate, biggest game of who blinks first. It's between Jeannie and LeBron on who blinks first about the extension that LeBron can sign. When's it coming up in August, right?
Yeah, you sign it right now if you wanted to.
Well,
we don't want to.
But we don't want to.
We don't want
and
to.
You being a LeBron insider, I assume that you, like a relative, are speaking for LeBron.
I ain't speaking for nobody. I'm just saying at this present time, we see no desire to sign this extension. It's going to be there.
So Jeannie is going to call your bluff and say, I don't believe you want to leave Los Angeles. I don't believe you, LeBron, want to leave Hollywood and Beverly Hills and Brentwood, where you have two different homes in Brentwood and Hollywood Hills, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So who's going to win that game of blink? Because I think Jeannie's got LeBron on that. I don't think he wants to go anywhere else.
I don't want to leave. But he left Cleveland. He left Miami. He left Cleveland again.
Okay, but
once
this
you
is year 20.
Skip Baylor, you love Oklahoma. You left it. You love Dallas. You left it. You love Chicago. You left it and went to Bristol. And
I'm playing a very different game than LeBron plays.
LeBron James a sojourner. He's a gypsy. He'll move on you. Yeah, sure will.
Really? That sounds like nothing but huff, puff, blow your
He'll
house
pick up the trailer and move. Hey, Savannah, we up out of here. Yeah.
And Savannah says, you go by yourself because I'm staying right here.
Savannah said, I go wherever my king goes, the queen follows.
Is that what she's saying?
That's what she's saying.
Okay. I don't believe the king is leaving Hollywood. I'm calling you bluff.
We don't want to, but sometimes we have to do things we don't want to do in order to get what we want to get.
Well, sometimes you get stuck having to play a second year with somebody you do not want to play with, somebody you wanted last year that you no longer want.
True. So we're going to move along. We're going to keep moving along.
Good luck with
Nothing to see here.
Yeah, there's a lot to see.
There's nothing to see here. Moving along.
Drama in Lakerland never stops. All right, guys, you alluded to it just a few moments ago. We still got the Kyrie-KD sweepstakes in play. Will Kyrie end up a Laker in a Westbrook trade? I got to get your thoughts on that. Plus, is Kevin Durant's brother speaking on his behalf in all this? That's coming up next on